Humbrecht with Humbrecht Law, criminal and traffic defense attorney in Manassas, Virginia. Welcome to my weekly Facebook Live and local business spotlight. Today I have a very special guest, the wonderful, incomparable goddess Jennifer Rose, as Darren Marquardt calls her all the time, and she is a goddess. She is absolutely phenomenal. She's the executive director of the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. So, Jennifer, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you could just tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce is.
Okay. I don't think I deserve that introduction, Jean, but thank you so much for having me on. And full disclosure, everyone, this is my first Facebook Live. Hard to believe that I haven't delved into that world. As Jean said, I'm the executive director of the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. I've been in this role for just over 2.5 years. My background is nonprofit fundraising. I'm a helper, as the great Marvin Powell, if he's watching, will be laughing and saying, yes, she is. The Chamber of Commerce the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce is an amazing organization. It's more than 60 years old, steeped in history, based right here in the beautiful, charming city of Fairfax. And we're pretty unique amongst the field of chambers of commerce. There are a lot of us in Northern Virginia. So our chamber specializes in small businesses. We have just under 200 members. We're small, growing. When I was hired to reboot the chamber and kick it back into gear and bring it back to its former glory. And that is exactly what I have been working to do since day one. We have great programs, we have great education opportunities, partnerships, and all kinds of great fun stuff out there. And I can't wait for Jean to delve into a little more with what I've got going on and the madness behind my methods, or the methods behind my madness. Either one works for me.
Well, Jennifer, yeah, I forgot to say that earlier. I am so honored that you chose your first Facebook Live to come on my little broadcast here. And I also did want to say that I did say to our watching and listening audience earlier that I am currently located in Manassas, which is where my office is, and I'm literally there right now. But I am also a member of the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. So in case you are wondering why, Jennifer, can you tell people what the benefit would be of being a member of the Commerce if your office or home is not actually there?
Well, I tell folks all the time, I get this question a lot. Well, I'm in Manassas or I'm in Alexandria. Why should I join your chamber? Well, there's potential clients and customers here. And in the city of Fairfax, there also just happens to be this big old Fairfax County courthouse. So I'm sure Jean occasionally finds her way here. But, chambers of commerce are just a great way to get to know a whole new, perhaps, base of customers or clients.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is true, but can you tell everybody exactly what a Chamber of Commerce is if they don't know? You mentioned that there are a lot in the area, and I have previously, I will say, I had Heather Steitzel on from the Prince William Chamber of Commerce. So you guys that are watching probably remember that if you are watching these lives. And I'm a member of both. So Jennifer, if in your explanation of what a chamber is, if you can maybe talk about why somebody would be a member of multiple chambers, or if they shouldn't, just what? Why don't you just talk about a chamber? I'm just going to stop babbling.
Okay. No worries. I actually get asked this a lot. A lot of people don't understand, what is a chamber of commerce? Why do I need to belong to one? What do you do? In the simplest terms, it's a business association. It's a club and or a membership organization. So our members, they pay annual dues. And in return for those dues, chambers of commerce provide a variety of services and offer programs to their members, offering them great return on their investment. Every chamber is a little bit different. The Prince William Chamber is ginormous compared to our little chamber, but we all do similar things. We will work to advocate on your behalf as a small business. During the COVID crisis, we've done a lot of advocacy work. We've been on phone calls with Senator Kane's office, Senator Warner's office, the governor's office, talking to them about what our small businesses need. giving them feedback on the programs and the assistance programs that have been out there. If there is a law or something that a local government is proposing, a new tax, something that is not business friendly, we're going to be speaking up for you. So advocacy, big part of a Chamber of Commerce membership, and one that most people don't think about. The one that's most popular is networking events. Everybody thinks of the networking event, happy hour, the coffees in the morning, the lunch and learn, all fun, love them, miss them terribly. Great way to get your name out in the community, meet new people, meet new referral partners, and they're fun. Who doesn't, unless you're an introvert, and then maybe they're not so much fun. But we can work with those introverts too. Education opportunities. We offer lunch and learns, workshops, all kinds of programs. This morning, for example, Jean was sitting in on a great webinar that John Nayrol put on your Energy Leadership Index. It was fantastic, fascinating, very interesting. But the topics of education for a chamber can cover anything that a business owner might want to learn. It could be finance issues, tax issues, HR issues, marketing, social media, all that fun stuff. And we can offer it at no cost or low cost. Because we're a chamber, we can partner with great organizations like George Mason University, the Mason Enterprise Center, and that gives us access to even more great potential speakers and folks that can help provide assistance and advice to business owners. Marketing opportunities. All chambers of commerce that are worth their grain of salt have an online membership directory. They have marketing opportunities. Members can sponsor events, activities, can sponsor committees to get their name out there. There's affordable marketing platforms that we have where you can do email blasts to our master mailing list that has over 1,300 people on it. So there's lots of services that chambers provide their members to help these businesses grow, thrive, and these days, maybe even survive.
So speaking of surviving in these days, can you tell us about, I can't even pretend I don't know. Usually I'm like, can you tell us about what you've done? But Jennifer has done so many things for the chamber members and for the community during the shutdowns after the COVID-19 pandemic hit us. I am just overwhelmed. Usually sounds like a bad thing, but when I look at all the events, there are so many events that the chamber hosts, like a variety of different things. So can you just tell everybody about, you know, some changes or additions or anything different during the shutdown? And do you do anything online?
Well, sadly, everything is online right now. But no, I mean, when the quarantine and everything hit in mid-March, I said this morning in our webinar, I just wanted to stick my head in the sand and just, you know, pull the covers over my head and be like, okay, you know, we canceled all of our events for the first 2 weeks and then for a month. And after a few days, I realized, okay, I can't do this. People are counting on the chamber to help them. I mean, it's what chambers were made for. I mean, we've been working toward this moment for good or bad as a chamber of commerce across the country. This is what we're here for. So I immediately started working to understand Zoom. I'd heard about Zoom. It hadn't dabbled in it yet. And then I started learning as much as I could about the assistance programs that were out there, PPP and EIDL, and how does it work? How do you apply? Who's eligible? I sat in on lots of phone calls, webinars, presentations directly with the SBA's office, where I could ask the director of the DC district office questions about the program and provide feedback. We put together a COVID-19 information page on our homepage, and I have got over 150 different links on that page. It's a little overwhelming to look at the page, but I have saved our members hours of research, finding information. And now I know where all the links are. So if somebody reaches out to me, for example, today, a non-member reached out to me. He's reached out to me several times for information. He was curious to know about the Fairfax Rise grant program that Fairfax County is offering. Today is the day they were supposed to email folks that made the cut in the lottery, and he hadn't gotten an email yet, and he wanted to make sure that did I miss the email? Did they not send it out? Are they on schedule? So I shot a quick email to my contact in the Economic Initiatives Office at Fairfax County. Emails just hadn't gone out yet. So being able to answer questions for our members, I'm kind of like a one-stop information and referral service in many ways. If I didn't know an answer, I would go find it, or I would find the right person to connect them with. We had a member who owns a staffing firm who wanted to figure out how he could get his firm involved with the contracts that the Virginia Health Department were putting out to hire contract tracers. So I put him in touch with some folks to get answers to that. In terms of our events, we had to pivot, and I do hate that word pivot, but that's what we did. We moved many of our events online. Early on, we canceled everything just so we could kind of get our bearings. But, by mid-April, we were back. And during that time, excuse me, I'm going to hit my cheat sheet. The number of events that we have either hosted or I scoured around looking for other events that would be helpful, events that the Small Business Administration might have been hosting, or the Greater Washington Board of Trade, or the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Small Business Development Center, all those groups. More than 120 events I have had on our calendar since really the 1st of April.
Wow.
And that's crazy. We've done far more event programming. Our Women Mean Business Committee really stepped up. They had been doing monthly programming. They went to weekly programming. But to give it a twist, they decided it's not going to be necessarily business focused or even COVID focused, but it might be a little lighter in subject matter, maybe a distraction from COVID, yet still related to COVID. And I know Jean has attended quite a few of those, and we've covered topics, everything from gardening, perennials, annuals, to organizing your space physically and mentally, because we're sitting at home, and I think everybody probably has the most organized closets and drawers at this point on the planet. Our yards are looking better. We're going to have a body language expert coming on shortly to talk about the secrets you're telling through Zoom. So that should be pretty interesting. So not necessarily COVID related, but still COVID related. In May was Mental Health Awareness Month. I did Mental Health Mondays. We had some great presentations there. We wrapped the month up with a little coffee talk. If you remember Saturday Night Live, little Linda Richmond. We had our own version of Coffee Talk where we just talked about what was going on. Every Monday morning for a month at 10 a.m., we would do our Mental Health Monday check-in. So really stepped up what we're doing, and it gave me the opportunity to realize virtual events are probably going to continue for quite a while. And I mean, we've had people attend events. This morning, there was somebody in India that was on our Zoom. So it's pretty cool that we can broaden our horizons and expand our audience. As much as I miss the in-person events and I'm chomping at the bit to get back to them, Zoom's been such a great tool for us to introduce our little chamber to different parts of even Fairfax County. People complain about going from one side of the city of Fairfax to the other. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that can really suck. So now it's easier for people to participate in our events because they don't have to deal with the traffic and the headaches of that. So it's been interesting, but I feel like I have done all I can as a one-woman show to help support our members throughout the crisis. And one of the first things we did for our members, all of our members, there's 3 different ways you can pay your membership dues. You can pay them annually, so one-time payment, or you can do it quarterly or monthly. Cash flow is always good. Keep your cash on hand. So all of our annual renewals, if they were due February through June 30th, we immediately pushed them back by 3 months just to give everybody a little bit of breathing room. We didn't want them to have to worry about oh God, I got to pay my chamber dues. I don't know what's happening. Our monthly and quarterly folks, we left alone, but if they needed to adjust or needed a little more breathing room, we happily have provided that for our members. And I think our members appreciated that. I mean, they're in panic mode, triage mode. And even now,
Yeah.
they're still in a panic and triage mode. As we slowly start to reopen, there's still so many unknowns. And I laugh and say my crystal ball is in the shop. Oh, how I wish it worked. 'Cause I'm a planner. I like for things to be certain and set. And I think we're all learning. We're all getting a very healthy dose of patience right now as we move through this together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, patience is one thing that I know I'm not very good at. And I know you don't like the word pivot, but we've everybody has had to pivot. This Facebook Live is a result of me pivoting.
Mhm.
So I hope people are enjoying this. I can tell by the comments that people are watching. Like Susan McKenney said hello, and
Hello, Susan.
she said Jennifer has been amazing. So the members do know that you are doing a very good job, Jennifer. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I've used my ambassadors a little bit to help me through this because some of them are busy dealing with their own worlds. They're either crazy busy because they're bankers, or they're in IT, or they're not quite so busy. But I've relied on the ambassadors to help me reach out to our members, phone call to check in. I've been trying to write notes to our members. I think I've only done about a quarter of the membership. Handwriting those notes takes a long time, but it's so nice to send the old school handwritten note.
It really is. And not a lot of people do that. And I will say that I received a handwritten thank you note from Jennifer. I don't remember what it was from because I have
I
posted.
do.
Oh, okay. Well, I've hosted a few events, but I remember I got it and I was very appreciative. And you would nobody sends those anymore. So when people do send them, people notice, and it really means a lot because it takes time to send those handwritten notes. So Jennifer, what was it for?
I was thanking you for double duty. You hosted your webinar on your new book,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hosted our first virtual after hours networking event where we played trivia.
Was that the first one?
No, actually, it was the second one. It was the second one. Lord, I hope that Lisa from your CBD store doesn't hear me dissing her because she did host the first one.
Yes, and I was late to that one because I was in some sort of training. But Jennifer, I can't remember who won the trivia that night.
That night, who would it have been, Jean? I think it was you. Although I think Stephanie Gum actually got more questions right than you, but because you had to be quick in your answers, you got points for being super fast. So don't play Jeopardy against Jean. She's going to be quick on the button.
Thank you, Jennifer. This makes me feel better about when I go on Jeopardy one day.
One day.
If I don't get stage fright. But being in front of this massive audience on Facebook is helping, right?
That's right. That's right. And I just want you to know, when I went through that round of trivia as practice to make sure it was going to work, you and I got the same number of questions right.
Great minds think alike.
One day we'll have to go head to head.
I think I'd rather have you on my team, though.
I love trivia, and teams are the way to go, and have your specialists. So
Exactly.
we talked about that, no doubt. We tried to do a trivia night with our young professionals last week, but for some reason we couldn't get the registrations for that. So we decided to rather have 3 people playing trivia and paying to play trivia, that we would postpone it and try to do it another time. But I had a blast, and everybody that participated that night had a blast. At least those who figured out how to make Kahoot work.
Yeah, so there's this app called Kahoot that we use to play trivia via Zoom, and it was awesome. So you have to actually type in your answer, and you have to be the first person to get it in, like Jennifer said. So there are so many things people can do online to try to make up for not being in person. But
Yeah.
we all do miss, the actual in-person events.
Yes, I mean, it's just not the same. Trading your information in the chats of Zoom, you're passing those virtual business cards. It's not the same. After a real in-person event, what would I do afterwards? I would make sure that all the people that I met that day and that gave me a card, I would make sure they get our emails. Have I done that? Calling the email information out of all those Zoom chats that I've saved? No, haven't, and I need to. You have those cards in your hand and you see them stacked up on your desk, you're like, okay, I need to follow up. And when you can't see them,
Yeah.
It's more challenging to do the follow-up. But
Well, so but the benefit though of the events that you have put together and hosted is that the people who are chamber members or non-chamber members, if they can attend or pay to attend, depending on the event, have access to everybody's information and can contact all those people that they want to make connections with. So
exactly.
yeah.
Or if I know who they want to connect to or what kind of referral they're looking for, I can connect them as well. I can be like, oh, of course, yes, I know someone who can do that. I met with someone earlier today who is planning to join the chamber next month, and she is looking for a great community bank. We happen to have a few in the chamber. So when I'm done with our Facebook Live, I'll be sending her, names and email addresses and phone numbers of all of my contacts at the different community banks that are in the chamber. And hopefully she'll pick one that she loves and do business with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're all about. I say at Marvin's event and Darren's event, the roundtable that's meeting on Tuesdays virtually, just like their group, we communicate, we collaborate, we encourage. And that's exactly, it's what chambers do. We want to work with other folks. We want to partner. We want to leverage our resources all to help make the business community a better place. Strong, I say it all the time, it's such a cliche, but strong business makes strong communities, and strong communities make strong business. So we were talking about why you should join a chamber of commerce. Sometimes it's just about being a part of the community. There are plenty of things that our chamber does that help benefit the community at large. We participate in the city's fall festival. We support Small Business Saturday. Restaurant Week will be coming up in September, and that we certainly have quite a few of our members that participate in Restaurant Week, but there are other restaurants that aren't members yet who are going to benefit from that as well. Anytime you can bring people into the city of Fairfax, you're making it a better place. Anytime you can bring them into the city to spend their money, patronize our businesses, you're making it a better place. So, encouraging people to shop local. I mean, all those things together is what a chamber does. We've got some committees that I have been putting together since I started. My first committee was a Young Professionals Committee. We talked a little bit about that. And they just did, the beginning of the month, a food delivery to Inova. They worked with the American Legion, who provided the lunches for free. And we had a parade down Little River Turnpike over to Inova to deliver those lunches. We have a veterans committee that's getting ready to kick off, where we will hopefully provide great services to veteran entrepreneurs, veterans who are trying to enter the workforce, spouses of veterans who are trying to get into the workforce. We're still working out the kinks on the committee, but I'm super excited about it. We have a youth committee that we're getting ready to roll out. I have leadership in place for that finally. I hope Terica is out there watching. I don't know if she is or not. But that youth committee is going to be all about career awareness and development with middle schoolers and high schoolers, helping match internships with employers or some job shadowing opportunities. And then also encouraging young people to explore entrepreneurship, starting their own business, and doing some leadership programs with them. So, I mean, that's not directly benefiting a business, but it is, because we're helping train and educate the next generation of workers. So, told you my lights were going to go out. Oh, come on. There we go.
So the building that Jennifer is in, I guess, is going green and the lights go off if there's no movement after a certain period of time. So we talked about that before and I forgot about that. So that was a nice comic relief, Jennifer.
I'm not trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
Although it's pretty funny. No, what was I saying? So yeah, chambers are just an important part of the community. And being a member of the chamber means you're being a member of the community. Some folks feel like if they can't actively participate with a chamber, that they're not getting any value or benefit from their membership. And to some degree, that's true, because what you get out of anything is what you put into it. So I tell folks when they joining the chamber is not like rainbows and unicorns and cupcakes and sunshine that's going to solve all of your problems. But we're here for you. I work for you. even though it's just me, I work for you. I'm an extension of your team. So if you need something, you only need ask. If you're struggling with something, reach out. Whenever someone joins the chamber, they get a little homework sheet in their new member packet. I don't know, Jean, if you've pulled yours out and looked at it. It's a little checklist of what you should do when you join a chamber, like within the first 30 days. Make sure your membership profile is stellar and stunning and up to date. Make sure that you've liked our Facebook page and follow us on LinkedIn and all that fun stuff. Attend an event, check out the directory, see what kinds of members we have and who you'd like to meet. And then, in the next 60 days, what you should do, and then 90 days, and then 120, or maybe it's 6 months, I can't remember. And if you're not happy, reach out. If you don't feel like you're getting the value on your membership, reach out and we can talk about things you can do to help you get that return on your investment, because you are investing in your business and in yourself. And I don't take that lightly. Every dollar is precious, especially these days. Many of you who do know me know that my background is nonprofit fundraising. So I hate to spend money. I can stretch a dollar until it screams. I know how to do the shoestring budget thing. But I also understand, sometimes you have to spend a little money to make money. You get what you pay for kind of situation. So just know that it's an investment in yourself, and you have to put a little bit of work and effort into it. And if you're one of those folks who's like me and you want to get all in, there's lots of opportunity for professional and personal growth by volunteering with the chamber, because it is a volunteer organization. We have a board of directors that are all volunteers. I have a small army of ambassadors that are volunteers. I have committee chairs and leadership teams for committees who help me execute the work. They come up with the ideas and I support them. They tell me what they want to do and I help them make it happen, because it's not my chamber of commerce. I mean, without the members, there is no chamber. So I work really hard to support our members and help provide them with what they want and need. Coming to the chamber 2.5 years ago, it was basically a clean slate here. The chamber's got a long history of ups and downs. And we were definitely coming out of a down, and Susan McKinney will tell you that. And I had this clean palette, clean slate. I could listen to the members and put together what our members were asking for. And that's what I've tried to do. The one area that we've not done so well yet, get a lot of requests for helping our members find affordable health care insurance, affordable health insurance. And we thought we had it figured out with an association health insurance plan. And then that didn't work. There's some stuff being held up in the courts. People didn't like the rules changes that the Labor Department put out and thought that it was violating too many of the Affordable Health Care Act mandates. So here's some inside baseball for all of our viewers. Next week, we're going to roll out a new program that is a telemedicine program. It's not quite the same as health insurance, but telemedicine has kind of come to the forefront these last few months. You need to see a doctor for things other than COVID. You don't want to go to the doctor, right? Or you couldn't. The doctors were forcing you to do, video conference or phone conference. So our new program will include telemedicine, 1 monthly fee. You'll be able to make unlimited calls to board certified doctors or up to 10 family members. And that could be extended family. So it could be your favorite nephew. It could be your mother-in-law, if you love your mother-in-law. Doesn't have to be just mom, dad, and the kids, but up to 10 people. When you sign up for this particular program, there's another little bonus that we're going to provide our members that will give them prescription discounts, discounted dental services, discounted visits to doctors if they're participating, discounts when you order your vitamins from a particular website, discounts on gym memberships. So I'm super excited, and we should be making the full announcement next week. I know I teased it with our members on Monday that it was coming, and I was hoping it was going to come out this week, but I think it's going to be next week. But we're really excited that this is going to be another option that our members can either make available to their employees or pay for it to provide for their employees. I think the cost is something like it's like $9 or $10 a month per person. And a lot of our members, as employers, would love to be able to provide health benefits to their members, but they can't afford to do that. It's crazy expensive, right? But this might be a way that they can do that for their employees, and at least get them access to a doctor to take care of simple things, ear aches, random rash on your kid's arm, sore throats, colds, things like that. As I've been studying the whole telemedicine world, I have learned that about 76% of all the calls people make to telemedicine, the doctor can take care of for them, which is pretty cool. If it's something that's where the doctor feels like they need to see a doctor in person, they'll tell them, you're going to need to go to urgent care. They can write prescriptions, for antibiotics and ointments. They don't write prescriptions for like narcotics or anything, but it's a great, convenient way to get some medical care from the comfort of your own home, not have to take time off to take the kids to the doctor or sit in those filthy, dirty waiting rooms. Or I guess now they make you sit in your car.
Yeah.
It's not for you to go in. But anyway, so we're really excited about being able to offer that as a benefit to our members. Very affordable.
Yeah, that is so awesome, because the people who just refuse to make an appointment with the doctor for some reason can just go to their living room. What part of the population could that be? People that just will not call a doctor and make an appointment and go. Now can be able to do it from their living room or dining room and actually get some problems fixed, right?
Right. Can y'all tell that Jean and I have talked about this before? Certain people in our lives that don't like to make doctor's appointments.
You know who you are.
That's right. You all know who you are.
So if you are a chamber member or are related to a chamber member, you can get the benefit of this awesome program. I mean, that's really cool. I was very excited when I found out about that. Luckily, well, I did have to go to the doctor when this thing first hit, but aside from that, I didn't really have to, luckily, make any appointments. So I don't know what it would have been like. I have heard that a lot of doctors are switching to this, so it's good that this is available.
Yeah, we're really excited about being able to offer another choice, and it's a smart choice, and it's kind of being ahead of the curve, because a lot of folks still aren't on this this platform yet, or even considering it as a way to get good medical care. It's efficient. It's effective, it saves time, it saves money. And those are all things that we know our business owners need to do. They need to save time, they need to save money. And so many of our members are either, solo entrepreneurs or 2 to 4 employee type organizations. They don't have time. They're in the office, they're doing their thing. And, if your server crashes or, somebody calls in sick, all of a sudden you're stuck. Working. You just don't have time to fool with things like that. So anything we can do to make their lives easier and better, that's the role we play as a chamber.
Yeah. And that's so awesome. I did want to give Sean Stuckey a shout out, because he was on at some point and left a comment of hands clapping. Sean Stuckey is an ambassador, and you were talking about ambassadors earlier. So.
Yes, and in fact, he is now, as of, I guess, 2 weeks ago, one of our newest members of the board. So we're real excited to have Mr. Sean Stuckey joining us on the board. He's fantastic. He helped me deliver, those poor high school seniors this year that missed out on, proms and beach trips and senior skip days and graduation ceremonies. We partnered with the city of Fairfax to help celebrate the graduates of Fairfax High School. And we had a bunch of signs printed up. The city printed the signs, and I agreed to help deliver signs to chamber member businesses and non-member businesses alike. So Sean came by the office where I am today. I'm not in the office very often these days, to help me deliver signs to businesses. They would put in the windows congratulating the members of the class of 2020 at Fairfax High School, because they really truly got the short end of the stick this year, those poor kids. So shout out to Sean Stuckey.
Also, shout out to Fairfax High School. That's my alma mater.
Yes, it is. In fact, I think before all the COVID mess hit, we were lined up to help them with their career day, and I think you were going to be one of their speakers.
Yep, I was going to speak at Fairfax High School. I thought maybe they would turn it virtual, but they didn't. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe hopefully do another one next year, or if they don't want to do an in-person one, go. But yeah, I mean, this everything has been changing so much over the past few months. Events were canceled. People didn't, necessarily convert everything to virtual. Some did, some didn't. So, and it's not ideal, but it's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you're right. I just got an invitation in the mail today from one of our chamber members, the Bernie Bates Foundation. On Saturday, they're doing a Zoom event where they're giving scholarships out to some of high school students throughout Fairfax, I think Fairfax County. And I'm going to check my schedule on Saturday and see if I can attend via Zoom. It's not the same, but at the same time, it's better than nothing. One thing we haven't talked too much about, I'm a past president of the Fairfax Rotary Club. Jean knows this. She's been a speaker and a frequent guest at our Zoom meetings.
Where haven't I been, Jennifer?
I know, you're everywhere. You're more places than I am, girl. I don't know where you're talking about me. You are more places than I am. But, when we pivoted in Rotary to using Zoom, we were concerned, like, well, not everybody can do it, but should we do it? And I'm like, it's better than nothing. And we've had 30, 40 people zooming in for our weekly Rotary meetings. And that was kind of my philosophy with all of our chamber events. Like, people are busy. I mentioned earlier that they're in that panic mode and triage, and they probably at some point can't think about like doing a Zoom or think about doing one more thing. But we're going to make it available. And in most cases, whether we have 4 people show up, or 20 people show up, or 30 people show up, it's going to be a great event, and we're going to put it out there and provide it for our members. And if they can do it, great. And if they can't, when I remember to, and that's the big if, I hit the record button on our chamber hosted Zoom events, and can always provide a recording to a chamber member. Although I'll say today, I don't think John recorded his. We used his Zoom platform and not ours.
Oh no, I had to get off that meeting early. I was hoping it was recorded.
I have to check with him. I didn't pay attention today. And like I said, he was running it through his Zoom account and not the chamber's. But yeah, my philosophy is we're going to put it out there. And if you can take advantage of it, it's here for you.
Yeah, the chamber has been so awesome. But before I get to all the rest of the awesome things Jennifer has done, I just have to give a shout out to Isaac Svensson, who left a comment. He says, I've been meaning to join the Long Beach Chamber for ages. I know LB means Long Beach. Isaac was on my webinar last Friday talking about effective video strategies for business. So he appeared on a video talking about effective videos, and he may or may not have seen my lives before, but now he is watching them because he was on the show. So Jennifer, you got through to somebody all the way across the country to join their local chamber.
Well, I just switched over. I just noticed on my screen that I had the private chat thing up. There's nothing in it. So I just switched to live comments. And the first one is my daddy, George.
Oh, is that your dad?
Hi, Dad. Hope you're still on.
Hi, Mr. Beckwith. Your daughter's amazing.
I haven't seen my daddy in too long, and we've been hesitant to get down there to see them because, you don't want to bring the COVID with us.
Yeah.
I am blessed that my mom and dad are very healthy folks, but I'd still feel pretty bad if we brought the funk down to them. I don't know. I need to get home. Home for me is Bedford, Virginia. And it'd be nice to go home. Daddy, if you're still listening, maybe in the next couple of weekends, I'll come down with or without boys. So, anyway.
Well, if you guys are still watching that I'm giving shout outs to, feel free to respond in the comments. I know there's a slight delay, and I should have asked everybody earlier to tell us where you are checking in from. Zooming, you're not really zooming in, but zooming is now a verb, so you're kind of zooming in. You're StreamYarding in from whatever. Yeah. Tell us where you are. Jennifer's in Fairfax. I'm in Manassas. Isaac is in Long Beach, California. I don't know where Susan and Sean are, but George is in Bedford, I guess, right?
Technically, he's in Montvale, but yes, Bedford County. Yeah, Sean's office is in Manassas. I didn't know if you knew that.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the reason why I actually joined the Chamber of Commerce was because of Sean Stuckey. I don't remember what event I met him at, but he was just raving about how awesome Jennifer was, the chair or executive director, whatever it was that he called you about the Central Fairfax Chamber. I have to meet you. You're so awesome. And when I met her, I was at an event and Jennifer had a big pair of scissors in her hands because it was a ribbon cutting. And someone said, that's probably that lady with the gigantic scissors. And I'm like, that's who I need to talk to.
Yeah, I actually ran across the parking lot with those big scissors once. I ran with scissors, Daddy. Don't tell Mama. And they are big scissors.
They were huge.
While I was running across the Fair Oaks Mall parking lot with them, the Lolly and Pop's candy store was having their ribbon cutting grand opening at 1 o'clock. So cut the ribbon at 1, let the customers in, right? At 1 o'clock, I was pulling into my parking spot at Fair Oaks Mall. So I knew that there's a line of people waiting to get into the candy store. We're supposed to be cutting. I should have been there 15, 20 minutes earlier. Traffic was, just to get from downtown Fairfax out to Fair Oaks Mall. What is it, 4 miles? It took me a ridiculous amount of time in the middle of the day. Who knew? But yes, I ran across the parking lot. One, Jennifer doesn't run. I don't run. But I ran that day and I was like, Lord, I hope nobody is watching. I hope nobody is recording this because it would be hilarious. It'd be like on Fail Army, girl runs with big scissors, especially if I had tripped and fallen. But I got in there and the kids weren't rioting quite yet. Caught my breath. We got the ribbon cut and in they went. The scissors are definitely a great conversation piece. Everybody says, where do you get such big scissors? And I'm like, online. Golden Openings is the name of the company I ordered them from. It's kind of like Scissors Are Us. I don't know.
That's a cute name. I would just Google scissors for ribbon cutting, and I'm sure that would pop up.
Yeah, but they're definitely a great conversation piece. I love bringing them out when I have information tables because everyone's like, do they really cut? Yes, they do. And they all want to hold them. So
just to give you guys an idea of how big these scissors are, I think they were the size of my body. Like
probably, Jean, because you're tiny.
Well, I'm still a grown adult. They're big scissors, all kind of grown.
I'm looking at them right now. I'm trying to decide if I should grab them.
You should. See, this is the beauty of Zoom. You can't see how short I actually am. Jennifer will be right back with her scissors.
Scissors.
Okay, they're not the size of my body, but they're big.
I don't know. They're half the size of your body.
Maybe one day when we're together in person, we can measure me up against.
Stand them next to you. Yes, here they are. These scissors, they do cut. I used to borrow scissors from the city of Fairfax, and then I decided we need our own.
And that's actually a great segue to something that I didn't even plan to talk about. Ribbon cuttings. Does the chamber do ribbon cuttings for its members?
We do. And if you're in the city of Fairfax and you're not a chamber member, I connect you with the city's economic development office, and they will gladly take care of your ribbon cutting if I can't convince you to join right away. And they invite the chamber to come and participate in those. But yes, we love doing ribbon cuttings. I have the big scissors. I have the big ribbon. We bring out a full contingent of chamber folks. Our ambassadors come out, board members, and it's basically a celebration for you. It's your special day. You've worked hard to get your business up and open, and we love ribbon cuttings because there's so much energy and excitement and happy feelings, and the occasional cupcake's not bad either.
Ribbon cuttings are fun. And they bring out people who, ordinarily you might not see because, not necessarily chamber members, people going to support that local business. In fact, that's where I actually met Jennifer, I think, was a ribbon cutting. It happened to be for a chamber member, but there were people there who were not chamber members. So, not only do you meet other chamber members at these events, you meet a whole, slew of other people that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yep. Ribbon cuttings are a lot of fun. if you're in the city of Fairfax and I work with you on a ribbon cutting, it's pretty easy for us to get members of city council to come, the mayor to come. If you're a Fairfax County business, I'm sorry and sad to say it's much more difficult to get county officials to attend ribbon cuttings in the county businesses. It's just such a, it's a much larger entity. The city of Fairfax, for those of you who don't know, only have about 24,000 residents. We are a small town, just kind of surrounded by, a couple million people.
I had no idea it was that small, and I grew up in the city of Fairfax.
Yeah, just under 7 square miles, 24,000 people. It is a small town, and I love the city of Fairfax. I really do. I've had a lot of ties in this community, really going back. We've been back in Virginia for 12 years. So the first 3 years we were back, I worked just across Interstate 66 in Oakton with Northern Virginia Family Service. So I would come into the city of Fairfax fairly often. I got involved with the Rotary Club here in the city, which really helped me deepen my roots in this community. And then when I left NVFS and went to work for Our Daily Bread, which is now known as Bright Paths, we were in the Massey Building Annex. And of course, the Massey Building has finally been torn down. And the Annex was the first thing to go down. It was a ginormous pile of dirt for quite some time. So I spent, 7 years working in the city of Fairfax. And it's just a great place, great food, great people. It's got that small town feel. So I enjoy working here, no doubt.
And we all love having you. And all of the businesses love you, Jennifer. By the way, you got a lot of shout outs yesterday at Marvin and Darren's roundtable when you weren't there.
I am so embarrassed to say this. I completely forgot.
Don't say that.
I completely forgot.
You were doing important business.
No, I'm honest to a fault. I am so, like I said, embarrassed to say I forgot. And then Saul Eisenhower called me later yesterday afternoon, and he's like, "Hey, we missed you at the round table." And I was like, "Oh my God, today's Tuesday. I forgot."
Well, then now I have to be honest too, because at the end, Darren called you a goddess and mentioned that you weren't there, and I had already done my rap report and did my spiel. And I was like waving my hand. I'm so sorry. I forgot Jennifer's going to be on my live tomorrow. Don't tell her I didn't mention this earlier. Yeah, actually, I said, tell her I'm sorry. And then I'm like, wait, don't tell her. But now that you said that, I have to be honest with you too.
Yeah, it's okay. This whole COVID thing, sometimes I forget what day it is. And for some reason, it wasn't on my calendar. And I don't know why it wasn't, because it's on my calendar every other week. It was really weird. I didn't get the reminder. And yesterday I kind of chilled because I spent 3 hours last night listening to the Fairfax City Council meeting. They were approving the North Fax small area plan and the Old Town small area plan. And I wanted to listen to that and hear any public feedback, make sure everybody was happy with how it looked. But I knew I was going to be working into the evening. So I kind of was chilling yesterday, doing things around the house. And when Saul said that, I was like, oh no, I forgot. How can I forget? So I do owe Darren and Marvin a quick note today to say, I'm so sorry. I did not blow you off. I just forgot. Well, it is on my calendar for next week.
We should tell everybody who Marvin and Darren are. They host the Northern Virginia Business Roundtable, which is meeting online now every Tuesday from 12 to 1:30. I can't do justice to the way that Darren describes the group, but they get together to break bread and lift each other up when things are going well and lift each other even higher when things are not going so well. And that's what I remember because it was just yesterday. Jennifer, if you want to, Coach Marvin Powell, I can't even talk about how awesome he is. He is just so helpful. He can help anybody. If you want to talk to a coach about business, and a coach and a consultant and an advisor and a mentor are all different. And you need to go to Marvin to talk about that because I can't remember all the differences.
And think about Marvin. Marvin is a Fairfax County small business commissioner. In fact, he's the head commissioner this year. He's the chair of that. So he knows small business. He's been a Lord Fairfax. Pretty cool. He's got a heart of gold, Marvin, and he's wonderful to talk to, and he asks the best questions. He always asks the right question. You may not like the question he's asked you. Sometimes they're hard questions, but he is great. And I was talking about the round table today. to our new potential member. And I said, you know, the education component of that roundtable discussion is what brings me back every week. Always learn something new when I attend. You know, I meet great people, and of course, now that we've gone virtual with the event, I'm meeting a whole new group of people. Because pre-COVID, this particular group would meet in Centerville on Tuesdays, and then in Fairfax on Thursdays. So I would see my Fairfax crowd, but it was much more difficult for me to get to Centerville on Tuesdays to see that crowd. So now that we're doing the Zoom online, the Tuesday and Thursday people are kind of mixing together, and I'm meeting all these great people that are just down the road in Centerville involved with that particular group. But Marvin is fantastic, and we are blessed to have him involved in the chamber. He and Darren both. I love my partnership with them. I say it every week that I'm there. It's a great group. So Tuesday at noon, you can Zoom in. That event is on the chamber calendar. Do you want me to try to share my screen so I can show it, Jean?
Absolutely. Share whatever.
Right. Let me see. I got two screens going on, folks. So if you see me turning, it's because I'm looking at the screen. So let's see.
That is the benefit of these apps and technology.
I'm reading the tips here. Screen sharing is easiest with 2 monitors. Check. I have 2 monitors. All right. Don't. Okay. All right. Okay. Hopefully I won't crash. Here we go. All right. Are you able to see? Oh, there we go. Pick the right screen. Look how easy that is. So here is our events calendar.
Oh, I have to allow this for this.
Okay, well, allow it, please. There we go.
There we go.
All right. So let's see. That was this morning. Our call to build back better in 2020. That was a great event. Tomorrow, our Women Mean Business Brown Bag Series. We're just going to do a little roundtable discussion, and I'm going to lead the discussion about what's next in this new normal. And it's going to be really just a chill conversation. How people, what they're thinking, what their inclinations are as we start to reopen. And hopefully, my fingers are all crossed, we will enter phase 3 with the entire Commonwealth on July 1st. At least that's what I'm hearing. But you guys can see on the events calendar, there's lots of great events that I have on here. Tomorrow, I'm definitely dialing in at 1:30 for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's National Summit on Equality of Opportunity. Early last week, the chamber put out a statement on, you know, all the mess going on with Black Lives Matter and racial inequality. And, you know, in the business world, we want everyone to exceed. We want everyone to have access to capital and financing and being treated fairly. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to say in the summit. So you guys tune in if you're able to. I think they will be recording it. They usually do. And I can try to make that available to folks. And then one of our great nonprofit members on Friday is doing, the Arc of Northern Virginia is having a virtual benefit breakfast on Friday morning. So if you can support them, they do amazing work with folks in the intellectual disabilities community. And one of the things I'd like to do as a chamber, and I'd hope to do it this year, we may not, we may end up pushing it to next year, is to put on an event where we bring together the Arc of Northern Virginia, the Down Syndrome Association, Cameron's Coffee and Chocolates, and talk about workforce development with this particular population. So great stuff going on. And then next week, because it's leading up to the 4th, we're not quite so busy, but we've got some good stuff coming up. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. There we go.
Well, Jennifer, at some point, I'm going to ask you to put a link to the Central Fairfax Chamber website in the comments here so people can go and see the events.
I can do that, maybe. I'm clicking on it. Okay, there we go. Maybe. I'm trying. It's not letting me.
Well, the beauty of technology is we can go back and put it in the comments later. So if you guys are watching this live, you'll see it later. Or if you're watching the replay, forget this conversation happened.
Right. Edit it out. Edit it out. Yeah. For whatever reason, I'm not able to put it in there, but we'll get it in there. Website is cfcc.org. Super easy. And I've done a lot of work updating our website during this pandemic. Quiet time has allowed me to do some things that I've wanted to do to our website for the last 2.5 years. So we have all of our committees information up there. Thank you, Jean. Perfect. And all in the About Us section, that had been a hot mess with a lot of old, outdated information. It is all current now as of last Wednesday. So real excited about that.
All right. Jennifer, we have talked about so much. Is there anything else you want to tell us about the chamber before we sign off for the day?
Well, I would love to talk to anyone about membership in the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. But, earlier in the conversation, I did allude to the fact that there are approximately 20 chambers of commerce in Northern Virginia. And they're all a little bit different. They tend to be geographic in nature, but you don't have to be in a particular area to join the chamber. For example, you don't have to be a city business to be in the Fairfax Chamber. Jean is a perfect example. I tell people if they want to reach customers here and grow and develop their business in this neck of the woods, we'd love to have you. But each chamber has its own flavor, and I am always happy to answer questions about chambers because and I think any chamber staff person would say this, you want your chamber member to be in the right chamber. You want it to be a good fit. You want them to have a great experience. And if it's not the right chamber, you're just throwing money away. And as I said earlier, every dollar counts. So if you're curious, should you join more than one chamber? You can join all of them, but it really just depends on what your budget is, right? And I'm always happy to answer questions about which chamber might be right for you based on what you're trying to get out of your chamber membership experience. So keep that in mind. I do that often. And we have a great video on our homepage. It's only 3 minutes long that kind of gives you the quick and dirty version of what you and I have been talking about for the last hour.
I guess I need to learn to be more concise. So.
No, it's not much more fun. Although putting that video together was fun. 3 minutes is all the time it takes to see why you should join your local chamber of commerce. It's not even necessarily my chamber, but I'd love to have you.
I'm going to have to go check out that video and put a link to it in the comments later.
Yes, please do so.
I forgot to say that if anybody has any questions, let us know. We've had Jennifer here for almost an hour. You guys feel free to type something in the comments later, and Jennifer or I can go back and answer it later. Or if you're watching the replay, feel free. I'll get notifications. Jennifer will get notifications that you left a comment, and we will try to get your question answered. So I guess with that, Jennifer, thank you so much for taking your time. You are a very busy lady and a very productive lady. You do so much. And I really appreciate you coming on to talk to everybody about the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. And I really appreciate you making this your first Facebook Live appearance. I feel so honored.
Well, I will take feedback from folks. You won't hurt my feelings if it's a little harsh, as long as it's constructive. So I'll be ready for my next live event or podcast. No, Jean, thank you. And thank you for being a member and for being as engaged as you are. It's been a joy to have you involved with the chamber, and I hope to have you involved for many, many years to come.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. If you are there, I will be there.
Well, thank you very much. But I hope even beyond, not that I'm going anywhere because I'm not, we'd love to have you and as many of your friends and family and colleague members who are interested in growing their business in the city of Fairfax to come see me.
So if you guys ever want to come to an event, reach out to Jennifer or reach out to me. And, it's harder to bring guests on, virtual meetings, but still let us know what you want to come to, and we will try to get you into and connected with whoever you're trying to get connected to.
That's right. We can make it happen. We are women of action.
Well, I was going to say Jennifer can make it happen, but I am a woman of action. So yes. All right. Well, on that, now see, this is why we talk for an hour, because like great minds think alike, and yeah.
It's easy to do.
Yeah. But I do have to cut it off because we still have people watching. I can't see who is watching, but I see that there are still people on. So thank you guys for staying the whole time.
Sticking all the way through. That's awesome.
I would hope that your dad is one of them, but I honestly cannot see who it is. So he
and I don't know because the internet out there in the country is a little tricky. So I hope he is. If so, hi, Daddy. Tell Mommy I love her.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this this replay later, still thank you for watching. Reach out to any of me or Jennifer Rose with the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce if you have questions about that, or if you want to talk to me about my experience with the chamber, because as you can tell, I love it. That's why Jennifer is on the show. So, well, one of the reasons. I mean, she's just so awesome. Like, I had to have Jennifer. Like,
well, thank you, Jean. You were too kind.
I speak the truth. Well, I am going to get going. Jennifer, I will let you get back to work. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching us. And Jennifer, I'll see you at the next event, probably tomorrow.
Right. Sounds great. Yes, I do hope to see you tomorrow. Make sure you register so you can get your Zoom link.
I know, I'm so bad about that.
Just do it right now. You
okay.
got it.
All right. I got homework to do, guys. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.